How do you do this again? Take a quick look at my channel. You know, it's still small for sure, but no worries, I've been working harder and releasing more videos than ever, with what I think is higher quality too. You know, things seem on the up and up, honestly. I bet a couple of months from now of steady progress, and maybe it really goes somewhere. More than 2 months and no videos, and I present to you the fucking cup! I know this is not a decent way to start a video, but god fucking Hi. Well, how do I say this? Things have been... still crazy. So a little bit of context for all of you. There is this wonderful concept of conscription, a word that I just learned about when I wanted to search the opinion of the collective hive mind that is Reddit on the matter, which basically means mandatory military service. The way it works is you finish university or college and then you can obviously start looking for a job. Actually, you can't work, can't travel outside the country, and will basically be treated as a convict until you actually serve your year of military. It's something that you live with knowing it'll come one day, that it's always approaching, but in primary school, nah, too young, nothing to worry about it. Middle school, still a lot of time. High school? Nah, not yet. University? Easy, man, we still got 4 years left. What are you worrying about? Then there's the work, no, wait, wait. And thus, all of a sudden, I found myself through the procedures of enlisting, traveling multiple times during different periods, performing medical checkups, and preparing all sorts of documents. Here's my ass thinking, hey, I got some medical problems, not major, but I do have a couple of them, and so I might actually get an exemption or something. And you know what's worse? The doctor, after giving me a grade C for the checkup, which means while I'm still approved, I'm akin to the wet French fry that gets left in the bottom but is eaten just to finish the damn thing. He literally called me back after the checkup and I was like, oh yeah, this is it, baby. He's gonna see the error of his ways, push me over the edge and give me an Actually, no, you're a grade B now. I mean, thank you. I'm glad you think that. I know my muscular, chiseled body can't be neglected, but also And from there began a 2-week race to try and get as much done as possible before my inevitable sink to the void. So I traveled, met with friends, tried an escape room, hanged out with friends some more, watched Gachakuta, played many games online with the same friends, tried out Baldur's Gate 3, tried to make a couple of videos. Oh god, it's getting closer. Hanged out with family, packed my bags, made the last YouTube video about why I make YouTube videos, made a major checkpoint in the video game I was working on, and there I was. On February 1st, in front of the entrance to the military training camp, left my life behind, left my family behind, my aspirations, my projects, my plans, my friends, my playthrough of Baldur's Gate, my home, my phone, my PC, everything that I was used to. And then I got in. The things I packed with me included mostly clothes, but also 2 novels. One of which was one I had been anticipating for a while and is written by my dear friend, and the other one I found seemed interesting and was to support an indie writer that is also a very nice lady to boot. Well, obviously, there's no better time to read than when I have no internet and no smartphone and no nothing. So I get in, there's an inspection. Yeah, sure, I get that. Any of us could have dangerous items with them. Knives, flammables, maybe even some spy tools. Very underset. Wait a minute. What are you doing? Listen to me. Hey, I can explain. There's nothing wrong with the... Hold up, is that fucking fire? What are you planning to do with fire? You know, you shouldn't get them close to fire. They can burn up. No! To be fair, I learned they weren't allowed after the fact, but also, I didn't fucking know books were fucking out. And just like that, it started. Where do I even begin? Well, there's one framework that comes to mind and could work. I'm sure you're at least familiar with the 5 stages of grief. Well, we'll be using that, except I'm going to mess up the order, remove and replace and add as I see fit, and overall have it be meaningless from the first place, but hey, at least there's some sort of structure that makes it seem like I've thought this out and keeps you watching. Anyway, stage 0, shock. The training period started, and there I was, training and repeating a couple of moves for hours in the sun every single day. Barely sleeping more than 4 hours. Wait, actually, that didn't change that much. Going to the bathroom, sleeping, eating, resting, all having these strict times, not only when you get to do them, but for how long, which is not very long. They usually went something like this. Oh God, open up. 9. You took 3 minutes inside. I just 7. 6. 5. Open the fuck up. 4. Obviously, going from living my life with all its experiences and comforts and actually having agency over it, well, being some cog in a machine stripped of whatever worth and values and individuality you may have had before, and reduced to follow the same rigorous routines with no questions asked. All of that being fine. I mean, there's other people in the military. Wake up, queue. Bathroom, queue. Breakfast, queue. Cleaning, cry, queue. Training, rest, more training, queue. Bathroom and lunch, queue. More training, queue. Dinner, queue. Cry, sleep, repeat. But still, to me, the shock was quite something. And I think there's not many words I could use to further describe that. Stage 1. Depression. Yeah, straight into the first stage from the start. That's how it goes with such an experience. I remember throughout all of the starting period, I could find little to no joy in anything that was happening. The food was just being chucked down to live. The first opportunity allowed us to shower, I didn't even take it. Not because I felt I didn't deserve it, but because I felt the situation and place I was in didn't. People around me would joke about anything, big or small, laugh through the pain, and constantly see me and go, "Hey buddy, you don't gotta go be so hard on yourself. Take it easy, man. You only make it harder on yourself. Once you get to the acceptance stage, fam, it will be no problem." They often would be speaking normally and not in such a dismantled, drunken manner, but that's how my mind perceived it at least. This apparent acceptance stage, which I've been constantly told is the solution, well, I never felt I could reach it. I was thinking so much of what could be and could have been, and the stark difference between then and now. It felt like even in suffering, I was alone. Stage 2. Denial? I mean, I do get the denial stage, at least theoretically, but it really doesn't apply here as you might usually guess. I mean, think about it. There's nothing to deny in such a situation. Yep, these are definitely military clothes. Oh boy, there's sure a lot of military trainees around. These do feel like military activities. It sure smells like fucking military in here. But there's some exceptions to this where I felt like my mind was truly trying to escape the reality of the situation in any way it could. So much of the time, I would be thinking or daydreaming about the past. Some good memories, some awkward ones, the things I used to do, the people I know and knew, and all of that. It didn't help in the fact that it was a painful reminder that hurt more than it helped. Yet it was just another way my mind was trying to get some sweet fucking copium. And then, to a more extreme degree, actual dreaming. Sleeping would be such a freaking clutch to really get, out. But the actual denial came from after waking up, because oh my god, my freaking brain is actually playing games, man. It would come up with the wildest and happiest dreams, but worse, it had to fill it up with events and people and places of my past and make them even shinier somehow. So waking up to the realization that nope, you're still here, bitch. God, that sense of disgust and intense desire to want to get back to sleep despite not being able to. The absolute fucking denial you feel there. Yet that marked the beginning of another day. I do keep saying this a lot, but I try my best not to have any regrets in life. To go about it convinced of my decisions, and if proven wrong, accepting and rolling with it. That's why, even in this period, I lamented the shit out of the fact that I enlisted, despite having little to no choice. But still, why couldn't I just, I don't know, become an outlawed convict continuously on the run? Or maybe permanently maim myself to fail the medical exam? I heard being an illegal immigrant isn't so bad. I thought of how much I could have utilized my time further, prepared more for such a period, procrastinated less, got out more, stressed out less, started YouTube and game development earlier, spent more time with family and friends, and been more grateful for everything in my life overall. Another cause for regret was that there were other options in front of me other than my current service, which now in hindsight were seemingly better. There's many reasons why I'm not in any of those now, and most of them not necessarily in my control, but God did it hurt knowing things could have been better, even if there wasn't much I knew or could do at the time. But alas, regret still proves to be quite useless. Unfortunately, that did not mean that it and similar feelings didn't start a fucking fire that boiled within me, creating something ugly and despicable, which was a lot of fucking I can't begin to count to you how many things frustrated me within this fucking period. The biggest one by far is the fact that no matter what, if someone in the group does something a little out of line, they punish literally every fucking one. And guess who's sitting there trying to follow the rules and be a good boy and still be fucking punished? I call bullshit. Another thing, since I got in, I've been different to the people around me. I talk differently, think differently, and just overall there's some, well, differences. Cultural too, because I'm from a different city, which should be fine, right? Except to them, nah, it's not. If you keep acting like this, you literally get into trouble. Stop being sad. You still lack a lot of life experience, huh? Grow the hell up, man. You feel better than us. You're the one at fault here. Shut the fuck up. Not only did all of that boil my fucking blood, it made me go crazy doubting my every move and action. Were I just that inadequate and inexperienced and unfitting for fuck's sake? And it was a really fun day when I woke up one day in our chambers and all of a sudden my freaking blanket and slippers were gone. Fucking take my clothes while you're at it, why don't ya? Special fuck you to that guy. Also, are you fucking kidding me? A whole year of this doing the same shit over and over and over again. The same repeating in an endless cycle of voidful fucking despair. Stage 4.5 FOMO. I wasn't sure when to put this or even if it should be a stage in the first place, but it needed to be said, so fuck it. You know, as someone who is clinically addicted to the internet, constantly being updating and keeping up with the news and happenings and updates of everything from video games to... So just suddenly having the metaphorical rug completely pulled from under me is not a fun feeling. I mean, look at all these video games that released. It really is a different type of unsettling to hear chatter of rumors and news all around you without being able to confirm nor fully understand them. Crazy shit like the absolute economic shenanigans that is the gold and gas and grocery prices, Sam Altman possibly being a piece of shit, Crimson Desert taking the world by its dusty and slightly reddish storm, oh and I don't know, fucking World War III almost starting or some shit. Y'all must be waffling because ain't no way you're starting this shit while I'm in the actual military. Leave me be, man, I'm still too young to die. Here's a little sad bedtime story for you, kiddo. In addition to my intrinsic passion and many other reasons I went over in the last video, one thing that keeps me coming back to make video after video on YouTube is basically gambling. With each video, I expect that this one will be it, man. This is the video that will freaking explode and be the favorite newborn of the almighty algorithm. I mean, to keep making video after video like this, you do have to have a knack for that anticipation-filled elusive high. So here's me making that last video and releasing it before I head out to the camp. So for the first hour, I see the initial comments and reception, and it turns out it's the best performing analytically in that hour. I'm pumped, I'm hyped. I think that, yeah, this is the one. And hey, not to belittle the meaning behind that video for me, but you know there's this tiny, little, teensy, itsy, bitsy part within me that goes something like, woo! Yeah, baby! Then a lot of time goes when I'm there, and I'm excited to go back and see the reception and maybe build on the momentum of it and all that. So I get back and... Stage 5. Except... Nope. Still haven't reached the stage yet. Bargaining. Alright, I'll be honest here. I don't really understand what this stage should represent, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't apply to my situation here, so obviously, I would rather just not include, but whatever I think fits here, and we'll call it a day. The biggest thing I can think of is just rumors I haven't been in any circumstance just so jam-packed with rumors as much as in this. And it goes on for about everything, big or small. Maybe about a person, or what'll happen in the next few days, or about the type of food which will be served for lunch, or on internal matters of our camp, and literally everything in between. There's a central reason for that, and that's the generation of hope. Everyone either latches onto whatever little information they get just so that they can open up the gates of hope of a better future situation and of more, or they just make them up. The end result is quite the same. And it works, you know? So often I latch onto these rumors and that fleeting hope so that I can convince myself that things will be better, even though it was very apparent that they had absolutely no grounds. Stage 6. Community. The phone calls that I had with my family and my friends after I started the service has become truly precious to me. Especially the friends who share my situation in conscription. This being in this together through the circumstance that links us despite being far away from each other. That has been really helpful. And I know I said I've met some bad people here, but there's a lot of good ones too. And after a good while, it almost begins to not matter. When you're with the same people, going through the same things, being together day in and day out, it kind of forces you to actually interact and kind of understand each other, even if you fucking hate their guts. I've heard a lot of other people's experiences. A lot of them aren't what I would expect at all, and many of them were quite shocking or surprising. Things that I can't imagine going through. Yet I saw those people and they were fine. Not only that, these people seemed more than fine and cared for my being fine too. Slowly but naturally, I started joining their cult. The cult of pretending everything is fine, of continuing to make light of the situation, and of seizing the opportunity within anything to do so. I kid you not, the things that happen here to achieve that sometimes are so silly, so weird, so simple, and if outside the frame of military, would be absolutely not funny, and dare I say, cringe. Creates this kind of connectedness among you, something that transcends whatever issues you might have, and instead makes you one unified group that cares for each other, makes the difficulty easier and lightens the whole mood up. And most importantly, it gives it all a whole lot more. Slowly but surely, you begin to learn a lot of lessons and understand a whole lot more about yourself and the world and what you want to do. You begin to realize what matters in your life, and it allows you to rearrange your priorities and set them straight. You realize that this period, no matter how difficult or forced or annoying it is, it taught you things that you've learned from it and became more resilient, more patient, and have further matured and grown. This change is almost not optional, it's almost forced upon you. Moreover, whether it comes with time after you get the initial shock, or through the aforementioned maturing process, or just another way for your mind to convince itself that everything is fine and there's actually value and meaning to what you do, and you're definitely not wasting your time right now, and you know there's a lot of worse circumstances that you could be in, so instead just be grateful for it lest it gets worse and keep taking whatever small wins you can get. I mean, what's your life anyway? Death is fastly approaching and we're all going to be forgotten in the blink of an eye. I'm fine. Anyway, the point is, you understand the necessity and value of what you do. In essence, what I mean to say is, you become more patriotic. You begin to consider that despite being forced and disliking the situation, at least you're helping your country and people within it. That does count for something. And with all those feelings and revelations and interactions over, everything starts to become stale. And that's what gets us into stage 8, boredom. We're nearing the present time of my experience here, and this stage is kind of self-explanatory. Simply put, this shit is mind-numbingly boring, brother. The shock is gone, the quote-unquote novelty is gone, even most of the lessons have been learned and the useful life experiences have been gained. Now you're just waiting for it to be over, just counting the days passing by in and out, gaining the temporary reprieve of a short break every now and then. But one more thing keeps on giving, providing benefit even in the most dire of situations. It makes you say there's still hope. Call it rebellion, call it resilience, call it defiance, I call it... Obviously, I ain't going to sit on my ass and just fucking take all this. I'll take this imposed service on me and do it well, and you know what? Between you and me, nah, I'd win. I'll still keep thinking and contemplating and further dwell on things that result in interesting thoughts. I'll still write journals on ideas and feelings. I'll exploit this distance from all the distractions that you give me to be more religious. I'll bring books with me and get to reading them, something that I never get the time for in my usual life routine. I won't forget the things that I want to do. I refuse to let you even get close to that. I'll keep my dreams and I'll fight for them even from inside here. You know, the script of this video, most of it was written inside of there. And the script of another hopefully upcoming video on paper. I also started continuously practicing game design and came up with a pretty decent idea for a small game I could get started on developing. This way of resistance, this is the gate to transcendence, the road to greatness, and ultimately the sole path to acceptance. So, again, when is this period supposed to come exactly? One thing I'll say though, what seemed like torture has now become more like a memory. One that doesn't feel all that torturous anymore. I know from the way the video is, it can appear to be blown out of proportion. Yes, the experience as a whole is not ideal in the slightest to me and what I want to do in life, and it's full of hardships, but it's also not without its benefits. Ones that I was very unlikely to gain in my life normally. And there is also the recognition that this is the state of things for the time being. And I think these combine into as close as I can get to something such as acceptance. And so, we've reached the end of the video. I hope you've enjoyed this, or at least gained something out of it. If you did, a like would be great. If not, feel free to dislike instead. I'll be trying my absolute damnedest to get videos out in the little times I am able to. Until then, I hope you have a great time living. Thank you for watching, and hopefully, you'll find me in the next video.